us now, as he always does on a Friday morning, Peter Switzer, founder of the Switzer Report. Pete, good morning to you. We always like to talk... Ooh.
I just texted you, actually. I'll tell you what I said.
What's going on
next
here?
year,
You're a private chat that I'm not a part of.
Can you do more than one day a week? I think you should come on more than one day a week. So perhaps we'll just get it on air, put you on the spot.
Okay, well, let's get your people to talk to my people and we'll see what we do.
It happens to me all the time.
Okay.
All these private chats going on that I'm not a part of. I feel left out.
Yeah,
now, Pete,
I feel really modern, you know, that a young woman like Laura texted me and I actually was able to receive it. Not bad for an old bloke.
Anyways,
not bad at all.
Peter, now we always like to talk positive, but economic growth, not so positive. What's your spin on the whole thing?
I don't want to spin it all, mate. I'm more a fast bowler, you know, straight up and down, and you can see where I'm coming from. The economy is slower than we want it to be, and I think it really the Reserve Bank thinks the economy is actually on the improve. The Treasurer Josh Frydenberg, isn't really supporting the idea of tax cuts. But I think something needs to be done. It should be fair to say that Josh actually hasn't closed the door on tax cuts, but he doesn't want to talk about. I guess he's happy that the Reserve Bank is thinking that the economy is improving and the interest rate cuts will eventually start to work. But at this point in time, it's quite disappointing. Can I just throw one interesting curveball in?
Go, yes.
The retail numbers reinforce the negativity that you actually, asked a question around growth. But I came across an interesting fact yesterday from CommSec. Black Friday sales usually result in credit card spending going up by about 23%. This year, they went up 87%. So what CommSec is saying is that the October number, which looked terrible, the retail sales, could be that people rationally waited for Black Friday to really rip into buying in November. So the November retail number could be massive because of Black Friday. And I've got to say, guys, we actually joined the Rich Club on a Black Friday sale list. We sold 300 overnight. So it is quite staggering what Black Friday means to Australians now, where it never used to mean anything at all.
Hang on, what sold 300?
Yeah, my book, Join the Rich Club.
Oh, your book did?
Yeah, we never done anything like that. We just said, well, it's basically we're in retail now. We're selling the book, so we whacked it on the website, put a bit of a promo there, and sold 300. One guy in Tasmania bought 24.
The power of a promo, my friend. Look, let's talk tax. I think most people agree that we always complain about taxes being too high, but the other flip side is, can the government afford to cut them, or can they not afford to cut them?
Yeah, well, that's the really important point. If you look at the latest from the OECD, we're actually a very high tax country when you look at our personal taxation and business profit taxation. Overall, we're actually very low, total tax. But that's because the GST, the consumption tax part of our tax structure, is really low. We're like 12% goes from consumption tax, where the OECD average is like 20%. But can they afford to do it, or can't they afford? The interesting thing is this: if Josh doesn't get the economy growing faster, he won't get a budget surplus. The tax collections won't come through. So I think the next month or two, if they don't start seeing some good numbers,
on Wednesday, didn't he?
Yeah, and I think, look, I've got to say, a treasurer that's confident is a good sign. The numbers just have to come through to justify it. I think in many ways he's been a little bit, a mild-mannered reporter in the sense when he should be more like a more, Paul Keating or Costello talk up the economy. But the numbers have to come through. You can't just talk it up and not have the numbers come through. So the November and December numbers are going to be critically important. And I think the Reserve Bank would love not to cut interest rates again, but most economists think they will in February.
Do you think that second tranche of tax cuts should be brought forward, Pete?
Yep, I do. And that's because at the moment consumers are really... I think a lot of consumers are actually thinking these interest rate cuts are telling us that the economy is really in trouble. And so people are saving. People are saving their tax cuts and they're paying off their home loan, or they're not using interest rate cuts to spend. They're actually taking more off their capital in their loan. And I think as a consequence, if we don't get some circuit breaker, something that will really boost consumers and get them spending again, we could have a challenging economy in 2020.
Trouble ahead.
Go Black Friday and
Yeah.
Cyber Monday sales. Pete, yeah, thanks so much for that. We'll see you next week and twice a week next year.
Okay. It's public persecution here.
Yeah, I know. It works well. We'll see you soon.